Caseus. Clone Wars. Part 3. The Oracle. Chapter 5. On board the shuttle, Caseus sat and tended to Sarah, doing what he could for her arm. They stayed silent until Caseus walked over to R3. Set a course for Coruscant. Put the ship on autopilot. Caseus returned to Sarah. I'm going to get some more gauze from the back. Caseus walked to the rear of the shuttle and gasped. Juro was lying on the floor, unconscious but alive. Juro! R3 rolled over and beeped wildly. R3, you saved him. Sarah, get back here. Sarah quickly got up and ran over. Juro! Help me get him up. Struggling, Sarah and Caseus lifted Juro onto a table. R3, scan his vitals. Sarah, get me a stim pack. Check the med kit in the back. On it. R3 ran a full scan on Juro's body as Sarah retrieved a stim pack from the medical supplies. Sarah, hurry. I've got it here. Caseus administered the stim pack carefully and waited. His vitals are returning to normal, but he's not going to last long. R3, set a course for the Jedi Temple, on the double. Take the absolute shortest route you can find. R3 returned to the front of the ship as Caseus and Sarah both fell back into their seats. They were both completely drained. But that was the least of their problems. They failed to save the Oracle. What's worse, they failed to find out what she knew. Caseus saw only one brief image that had since burned its way into his memory. Sarah reached over to Caseus with her good arm and held him close as Caseus rested his head on her shoulder. Neither of them said a word. They didn't need to. It was an hour and a half before anyone spoke up. Caseus, did you see anything? When she was trying to connect with your mind? Caseus looked at her slowly. I'm not sure what I saw. I'm not sure it was real. What did you see? I'll tell you later. I'm going to check on Juro. Rest your arm. Standing up, he felt a wave of pain rush through his muscles and his back. He'd heard stories about how fearsome Grievous was, but to experience it firsthand. They were lucky to have survived. After what happened, Caseus dreaded facing the High Council to admit his failure. Walking to the back, Caseus sat and kept an eye on Juro, the only surviving soldier from their group. He was breathing steadily, but the extent of his injuries wouldn't be known until later. Hang in there, Juro. We're going to get you home safe. Juro moved his head slightly, a soft grunt escaping his mouth. Caseus put his hands to his face. What he saw. What did it mean? Meanwhile, General Grievous landed his ship in the hangar of the Invisible Hand. His armor was rent and cracked, and his already terrible cough was exacerbated by the injuries he sustained. Stepping on board the bridge, Grievous entered a code into the holoprojector. Darth Sidious' fearsome form soon appeared.
My mission was successful, my lord. The Jedi know nothing.
Are you certain of this?
Yes, Lord Sidious. They were no match for me.
Well done, General.
The hologram faded as Grievous coughed and sputtered.
You know, in hindsight, maybe you should have called the fleet.
Grievous turned fiercely, smacking the droid's head clean off its body before retiring to his quarters. Caseus and the others soon made their approach to Coruscant. The shuttle landed outside of the temple. Several masters were already waiting, including Master Takai. Emerging from the ship, Caseus and Sarah struggled, hoisting Juro outside by his arms. Several of the Jedi immediately rushed over to aid the injured trooper. Get him inside. Hurry, he's fading fast. We'll take care of the clone. Sarah, you come with us as well. I'll be fine. Sarah, go. Get your arm fixed up. I'll take care of things here. Reluctantly, Sarah went with the masters to the medical facility with Juro. Master Takai came over to Caseus. Her stern expression gave way to concern upon seeing the state of her student. Caseus, what happened? Caseus looked at his master, tired and upset. We found the Oracle, but we didn't find out anything. At least, nothing that can help us. Master Windu stepped forward.
Where is the rest of your team?
Caseus stared at the floor. They're gone, Master. Our mission wasn't as secret as we believed. The Sith must have heard the call too. They sent Grievous to stop us. And he did. We weren't strong enough to stop him. Mace turned to the other masters who exchanged looks of worry.
Go to medical. Get taken care of. We can discuss the details later.
Master Windu and the others turned and walked back towards the temple, all except for Caseus and his master. Tears welled in his eyes. I'm sorry, Master. I failed. Master Takai said nothing, instead gently holding her student in her arms. It's not your fault, Caseus. We should have known we wouldn't be the only ones who heard the Oracle's call. I'm glad you're safe. Caseus rested his battered face against his master's shoulder. Caseus, did you find out anything? Anything at all? Caseus looked at her. The Oracle showed me something before she died. It's vague. I don't even know if it was real. It was awful. Master Takai could see that her Padawan wasn't ready to talk just yet. She had never seen him like this. Then tell me later. Go see the doctors. I'll find you later. Caseus nodded to his mentor and slowly made his way to the medical facility, where Sarah was being tended to. A doctor approached Caseus and sat him down, having the young Jedi remove his tunic to assess the damage. After a few hours, he was finally treated. A few cracked ribs, a chipped tooth, several lacerations and cuts. But after a night's stay, he would be on the mend. He was more concerned about Juro. His injuries were far more severe. Serious burns, a cracked skull, a severe concussion, and a list of other ailments. The evening came, and Juro was finally stabilized. The doctors told them how to reach them if something happened, and left for the evening with a few medical droids on standby, in case of an emergency. Caseus lay in his bed, the events of the past 2 days swimming through his mind, until a voice called to him. Caseus? Caseus looked over to Sarah, who was sitting upright. Are you holding up okay? I'll be okay. What about you? I'll live. No sense in moping about it. I guess. Caseus, what exactly did you see from the Oracle? Caseus sat up and sighed. I don't know. Caseus, I know when you're lying to me. You saw something. Something bad. Please, tell me. Caseus looked at Sarah. He didn't know if he wanted to tell her, but it was starting to eat away at him. I saw the temple. Saw the tall spires on top, the halls, everything. It was burning. Burning? Everything was in ruins. I heard screams. Terrible, awful screams. Children even. Did you see anything else? Caseus shook his head. Nothing. But I heard something else. Amongst all the screams, a noise. A horrible noise. I don't even know what it was. But I never want to hear it again. Sarah got up from her bed and walked over to Caseus' side. The Oracle herself said that these visions won't necessarily come true. If we stick together and stay vigilant, it won't come to that. Look at me. Caseus looked into her eyes as she placed her hand on his cheek. No matter what happens, I'll always have your back. Just like you'll always have mine. If we stick together, we'll make it through the Clone Wars. I promise you. Caseus smiled softly and rested his forehead against hers. He loved her. He wasn't sure of his emotions for so long, but now he was certain. You always know just what to say, don't you? Sarah smirked. That's why I'm the smart one. Caseus and Sarah laughed softly, and slowly their anxieties faded. Caseus hadn't felt this safe in a long time. Even if it would be short-lived, he wanted to savor this moment. The next day, Caseus and Sarah were discharged by the doctors and stood before the council with Master Takai in attendance. They explained everything that happened on Kelja, and Caseus informed them of what he saw with the Oracle. Master Windu spoke up. You're certain that's what you saw? I'm positive, Master. That image hasn't left my head.
Many questions this raises. Questions with very few answers.
Master Plo Koon interjected via hologram.
Perhaps her vision is flawed. The future is always in motion.
Be that as it may,
Said Master Drolig.
it may be in our best interest to increase our temple's security.
I agree. Troubling this vision is. But lose hope in the Force we must not.
Caseus spoke. Master, if it does happen, what will we do?
That is nothing you need to concern yourself with at the moment, Caseus. Our order is still strong, and with our Republic forces behind us, we have the strength we need to overcome nearly any threat to the Jedi. Overconfidence is a fool's substitute for intelligence, Master. We may have the Republic's army behind us, but we must remain cautious. The mightiest warrior may still be felled by the unseen assassin.
Double our security we will. Remain cautious of the unforeseen threat we must.
And so we will. Now, Sarah, I would like to ask that you step outside. There is a matter we must discuss with Caseus.
Sarah bowed and looked at Caseus before stepping out of the council chamber.
Kukuri, the floor is yours.
Master Takai stepped beside Caseus. Thank you, Master. If it pleases the council, I would like to discuss the possibility of my Padawan facing the trials of knighthood. A few of the masters exchanged looks with each other, as Ki-Adi-Mundi spoke. The trials are a sacred tradition amongst the Jedi Order. To face them requires the utmost devotion, a strong mind, and an even stronger spirit. Do you believe that your student is prepared to take part? I do. Caseus has proven himself time and again to be one of the most insightful and resourceful Padawans I have ever seen. It has been an honor to train him, but there is little else I can teach him. I have no doubt in my mind that he is fully prepared to become a Jedi Knight. Master Windu looked at Master Yoda. Both maintained their stoic disposition. Then, Master Windu turned to Caseus.
Your master has much confidence in you and your abilities. Is there anyone else here who shares her views?
Master Drolig stood.
While Caseus has shown remarkable improvement over the years, he still lacks focus, and his skills thus far have not convinced me that he is ready. Be that as it may, Caseus is not my pupil, and I trust Master Takai's judgment in this matter. So, albeit reluctantly, I will stand by her in this matter.
Plo Koon stood as well.
I have observed Caseus for a while. He is headstrong and has a great deal of growing up still to do. But what I have seen in him is a commitment to the Jedi that rivals that of even many of our more experienced knights. Above anything else, it is this devotion to the Jedi that I feel is his greatest strength. Therefore, if he himself feels prepared, I vote in favor of this decision.
If I may say so, said Ki-Adi, your student's acts of valor seem to stem from his own brash actions. Far too many promising students feel the need to prove themselves through heroic acts, without taking into consideration the consequences of their actions. Therefore, I do not approve. Several other masters spoke their piece, some voting in favor, some against. Finally, Master Windu turned back to Caseus, who stood silently.
I feel it's only fair to give you a chance to speak your mind, Caseus. Tell us, do you feel you're sufficiently prepared to face the trials?
Caseus looked at his master and back to the council. When I was a youngling, I never thought I would make it this far. I was surrounded by students much more qualified than myself. But my master saw something in me. Something I didn't see in myself. I trained under her for nearly my entire life. Her wisdom and guidance has been my greatest treasure in my time here. I've come a long way. But there's still more I need to learn. So, respectfully, I decline to face the trials at this time. A few of the members of the council talked amongst themselves as Master Takai looked at Caseus. She seemed surprised, but not upset.
Certain of this decision, are you?
I am. I will continue to train and serve under my master, until such a time as I feel that I'm ready. This war has proven to me that I need to be patient, and wait until the Force deems that I'm fit to become a Jedi. Master Windu spoke.
Very well then. This meeting is adjourned. May the Force be with us all.
Master Takai and Caseus bowed as they left the chamber and stepped into the turbo lift. I'm surprised, Caseus. I thought you had your heart set on facing the trials. I did. But sometimes we need to let go of our desires and do what's best. When I'm ready, I'll know. Master Takai smiled warmly and placed her hand on her Padawan's shoulder. I'm very proud of you, Caseus. If there's one thing I know, it's this. One day, you will become a greater Jedi than I could ever be. Caseus smiled and stared out of the window. The day was drawing to an end as Caseus sat on the temple steps next to Sarah. You should have taken the opportunity. I know you're ready. Maybe. Maybe not. I guess time will tell. Anything on Juro yet? Nothing. They're keeping him stable. But he's not out of the woods yet. He'll pull through. I know he will. He's a true soldier, through and through. Am I interrupting anything? Caseus and Sarah turned to see Master Takai. Is everything okay, Master? For the moment. I've just received an update from our spies in the Outer Rim. We've found Dravok.